Hey guys, welcome to the Art of Visual Storytelling. The film begins with a street performance. The characters played are two kings, King Cholas and King Pandya, who lived 800 years ago. In the street performance, the Cholas king commanded his people to take his kid away from our city as it was being attacked by the Pandyas, and hide until you receive my message, and sends them off. But little do they know, those street performers are actually true. Real time in history this happened. The history goes that Cholas and Pandyas were fighting over for many generations. For that particular night when Pandyas attacked, the Cholas ordered his people to leave with his child. After crossing many oceans, the young Cholas king reached an island. After that, no one really knows, where did they go or what really happened to them. Many Pandya kings tried to find them, but no one could get past the traps they set. But after 800 years, just one archaeologist found the place where they lived. But he goes missing. His daughter, who is also a young archaeologist, is devastated to hear her father is missing. Following week, Anita, from Indian archaeology, comes to meet her and says, "Your dad spoke to me from his last known location in Thailand, and goes missing. If he really discovered where the Cholas went, then it would be a huge achievement. I am sending in a team with high protection to find him. But I just got information that the path is very dangerous. And I wish you could come along with us, and you if you're interested, so you could track your dad. And we leave in 2 days, if you're interested." The island which the king reached was Mingwa Island. From there is very far and very dangerous, which no one really knows. On the day of travel, the head of private security asks, "Where are the helpers I asked for?" Helpers arrive. The head who leads them is Muthu. The security guy is angry that such people will take command on my order. He shouts, "Get everything inside, you idiots." The helper guy tells his people to get everything inside, and warns him to give respect and take respect. "Don't mess with me." The ship heads off. Following week they reach Thailand, and the trip organizer says none of the boats are accepting to go to that island. She replies, "No matter how much it's gonna cost to get the boats, just get them." Finally they get a guide, and gets informed that no one returns from that island. They say it's haunted. Anita says, "Just shut up and keep that to yourself." Once they're heading to the island, they stop and say, "This is as far as we're going. It's too dangerous from here." They are threatened to be shot, and still they jump off the boat and swim away. Finally the helper guy helps with the boats. Closer to the island they get, the archaeologist sees a red glowing figure in the water. Confused, she looks around. They reach as far as the boats can go, and start to walk to reach shore, but get attacked by a swarm of red glowing water creatures, and starts running for life, not knowing what is happening. Confused with no idea what those creatures were, and just head on through the forest. And they reach a place of tribal people who live there, and have to get permission from them to cross this place. Guide says, "We have to pay respect to these people, and cross this place or they're all cannibals, they eat you. Just don't look into their eyes," says the guide. They meet the chief of the village, and offer some things. The chief replied, "I don't need all this, give this girl. Ask her to marry me." The girl gets close and shows a picture of his dad and asks, "Where is he now?" The chief gets angry and pushes them away, without saying anything. Guide says, "Please head back, don't go any further, it's too dangerous. We believe it's haunted." Everyone is shouting, and the security guard threatens to kill all of them if required. The guide smiles and leaves. Later, they camp for the night. And at morning sunrise they are attacked by red-painted tribal people. Red-painted tribal people, who don't like these people's presence, and won't allow them to pass this point. They start attacking and kill some of them, but soon overpowered by guns and gets killed to the last one. A lot of men and say, "We won't be coming anymore. That guy had 2 daughters, and killed for the selfishness of you people. Pay us the money, we're leaving." But the security guard fires a gun at them to threatens them to carry these boxes and come along, or die here. The helper guy is helpless for his people. Anita names his family members and says, "Follow our instruction here. Your family will be safe. At home it's simple." Later that day the archaeologist treats his wounds, and says, "Don't fight." Every step they take, it becomes more and more dangerous. And yet keep going. Finally, they reach the first step of the way they are looking for, and discover an old abandoned temple, and camp there for the night. Archaeologist Dr. Lavanya warns them that, as per my dad's research, we should be worried about a snake here. It's an obstacle. The security head laughs and shouts at her and says, "What else will you find in the middle of a jungle? Just get out of here." Some archaeologists and people around laugh and make fun of her. Later, helper Muthu goes to her camp and finally gets to know they're looking for the Cholas, who went missing 800 years ago. At the same time, thousands of snakes start swarming towards the camp. Muthu replies, "Okay. Why is there so many problems getting through a normal forest?" Doctor replies, "Cholas didn't just go, they have set 7 different traps. One by one the snakes start attacking everyone. People around start screaming and shooting in the darkness, not knowing what to do. Few snakes coil around Dr. Lavanya, but Muthu saves her, while Anita is shooting at these snakes. Same time Muthu starts running, while the doctor and Anita jump onto him, and they run towards the river and jump into the fast-flowing river. Next morning they are swept ashore by the river, while the doctor figures out the direction they have to head towards next. They continue the journey through the mysterious forest, with heavy wind, rain, and lightning. They rest for a little and continue, and they clear the forest and see a vast desert. Muthu says, "Let's head back, this is too risky. Not knowing anything about this, and just walking into this desert is stupid." But Anita and Dr. Lavanya just start walking and Muthu follows. Lavanya keeps track of the direction, and yet they don't see anything for miles. They keep going through sandstorms, without water for days. And they see a man-made rock structure in the middle of a plain sandy field. When they start to walk towards it, a huge dry quicksand opens up on the ground, where Anita almost falls into. While the doctor tries saving her, Muthu says, "Leave her, let her die, she killed so many of our people." But the doctor says, "Help me pull her up, you idiot." And they both save her. And mysteriously, the quicksand covers itself up as if there was nothing there. All three, confused on what just happened, they push a few boulders to check. To their surprise, every boulder just fell in, as if there was a mountain cliff. Not knowing what to do, they wait. While they wait, the doctor murmurs an old slogan, which resembles this and figures out how to cross it. Suddenly she shouts, "Guy, ready, ready." And as the sun sets, a shadow appears around the structure, in the form of a god. Lavanya shouts, "Run! Guys, run! Run in the shadow!" And they start running. And the sunlight is for just a few minutes. And as the shadow starts to fade, they have to wait around until the sun rises. Around midnight, their team of security guards come after losing a lot of their men, and without knowing, few men get into the quicksand, and Anita and Lavanya shouts, "Don't come. Just till morning." And at morning sunrise they get ready to cross the field while they have only a few minutes of shadow. And as the sun rises, they start running again. All three cross to the other side, but others get stuck in the middle of the field and have to wait till evening. While Lavanya finds her dad's bag won, and they now know they are on the right path, while Muthu finds a bottle of alcohol. These three continued their journey. And finally, after some time, to their relief, they see an old abandoned big village, where the Cholas lived, and filled with happiness, and go ahead and see the places filled with old jewels, and finally spot a camel and 3 hunt it down, and eat a decent meal after many days, and have a drink together. They are so happy they then start to sing and dance in joy. And when they are finally tired of dancing, they take a nap, and wait for the others to come the next day. And all of a sudden, it's quite literally no sound of anything. Dead quiet. They look around, and with gusts of wind they hear hundreds of voices all around. With a sudden gust of wind which feels like someone is slapping them, they are so scared, starts running, not knowing where to go. When the voices stop, they hear some noise which makes them go crazy. They just start acting like some animals, hitting and trying to kill each other. Then they start running. All three are like they're possessed by ghosts, and into a mysterious old man out here who is controlling them somehow. And here is a place full of people in a huge cave, and people worship their king. They are the Cholas, who left 800 years ago, leaving here for many generations, waiting for their king's message. At the same time, the others reach the abandoned village and starts looking for them. While the king does some prayers, the village starts collapsing on itself, and the king visits Muthu. While he is tied up and they see he's carrying a tiger tattoo on his back. They're suspicious because tiger is actually a Cholas symbol. They question him, "Are you the messenger sent by the king?" He says, "I'm hungry, I need a lot of food and I need alcohol. I'll probably marry the doctor." He's delusional. The king slices his back and laughs, saying him being our messenger? And laughs. And orders to kill him. And while the soldier swings the sword at him, he gets hit by lightning. Now the king is confused whether this was luck of fate. The king checks with the sorcerer. The sorcerer does some prayers. And a light streaks for their positive clue. Now the king brings these three to their people. Muthu shouts, "Who are you people? Please let me go." But Anita, without an ounce of fear, look around and figure out these people are the Cholas. All three are tied up and Muthu asks the doctor, "What's happening here? Who are these people?" The doctor replies, "They are the Cholas, one we were looking for. You said they would be dead centuries ago? Well, they are ready to burn them alive." But Anita, without any fear, closes her eyes and starts chanting some prayers. Muthu and the doctor scream out of fear. But Anita shoots the energy floating over her head onto the sorcerer and shows her back, and a tiger tattoo appears. People around bow down to her. And Anita says, "I am the messenger of the king. You are to obey me." And Anita orders the guards to take Muthu and Lavanya away and imprison them. Anita talks to herself that I am of Pandya's generation. Me and the major security, and few officials on government. There are a total of 8 Pandyas still remaining from the direct bloodline. Our parents and grandparents taught us that Chola stole our god statue and one day somehow we should retrieve it. But I never thought Cholas would be still alive after 800 years. Now I will take revenge in the name of all my ancestors. Later she puts on a dance show to seduce the king. But the king grab hold of her, says, "Your eyes are lying, tell me what's the message." Anita says, 3 days from now we will be leaving for our country. Our people are waiting for you, my king. The king believes it, gets emotional. But still what our sorcerer says is a different story. Let's see what will happen. The following day Anita sees the statue, stolen from her family many generations ago, and starts crying. While the king announces that we will heading to our home in 2 days. People cheer and cry. But one of them asks, "But as per our sorcerer, when our savior comes it'll be raining. Is it any sign of bad luck?" King says, "No, don't believe it, you can trust me." Following day all the prisoners are taken to the battle arena to fight as they celebrate their happiness. Muthu is amongst them. And one guard with a boulder tied to a chain swings and starts killing everyone. Muthu gets emotional and remembers some of his past and fights him back and defeats him. To everyone's surprise, Muthu is then accepted amongst the people. Later they find out that the Anita is not Cholas. She is here to kill all people around and can't believe they were fooled by one of the Pandyas. Turn their attention towards Muthu and think he's one of them and starts hitting him. When Muthu sees the king's 7-year-old boy try to kill himself, he saves him, and soon the king realizes that he is the real messenger, as per the sorcerer message. Meanwhile the sorcerer walks towards Muthu and transfers all his energy, unlocking his ancestors' memory and their skill, and the sorcerer dies there. The same afternoon they start to prepare for battle and surprise their enemies with their fight. But soon realize that the water they're drinking was poisoned by Anita, and a lot of their people die. Only a few 100 people left. They head straight to fight them and give a good fight even though their enemies are using guns. But soon they were thrown out by grenades and defeated and taken prisoners. Following day they are all taken away as prisoners, while the king is untied by the doctor to escape. He just walks to the shore and dies of guilt that he got his people to death like this by his mistake. While the king's son starts to run, Muthu runs and saves him while people start shooting. When they find the king dead, they throw him into the pit of dead bodies. The remaining Cholas then carry their king's core into the ocean and all die together. While guards are after Muthu, he saves the king's son and vanishes. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.